a lot of people buy on for different reasons. Some people buy on for the health and their end users. And by the way, when you buy the machine, no strings attached. You don't have to sell this machine. Just know that there's a benefit of return on investment, and there should be no shame. I want to change that narrative. I wish my iPhone had an ROI. ROI means return on investment. Like if every time I recommended iPhone gave me. Can you let me know how I feel? I need to stay this close to the mic, right?
Yeah, you gotta be all up in it. Yeah, check. Yeah. Just be all up in it.
Okay, cool.
Check. Oh yeah. What's up, monstros? 214 Freeway in the chat. Say what's up. This is my homegirl Gracie right here.
Hey, what's up, 214 Freeway?
Yeah, for those of you that are avid listeners, this is not Gracie's first time on the podcast. This is also a different podcast. If you notice the title, we're going with Water Wednesdays. And that's because here we are going to be talking about... What are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about hydrogen-rich water.
Con ganas. Yeah.
Hydrogen-rich water.
Yes.
And debunking some stuff.
Yeah. So that's perfect. Good, perfect segue. Because right now, I'm going to put us all into the context of what this conversation's about. Yeah. Saying hiya. There's a little bit of a lag in the chat to response, but it's okay. Just keep coming. Keep coming with all the things. So basically, we're going to be... I came across a... Hold on. We're going to go back.
Context.
Yeah. So, I guess over a year ago now, I bought a Kangen water machine.
Yeah.
And 6 months prior to that, so let's just say like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
I started drinking Kangen water, hydrogen-rich, molecular hydrogen-rich water.
But the machine's called the Kangen machine.
Kangen, yeah, for sure. So the Kangen machine has been providing me water for 6 months, and I noticed differences because at the same time I was going vegan, and I live a crazy lifestyle that happens to not enough awareness. Oh, but yes, beautiful, of course. Yes, we're raising all the awareness right here.
Yeah.
So I live a crazy lifestyle that tends to leave me dehydrated. I don't get enough sleep often. I'm drinking. I'm constantly on the go, moving, yada. I started drinking Kangen water, noticing huge differences to the point where I decided to buy the machine. When you sold it to me, you had the foresight of telling me, I'm going to put you down as a distributor because in the future you may want to start selling your own machines. And I was like, I'm never going to sell water machines. I'm just going to drink the water. I see the benefits of the water. I'm going to drink the water. I'm going to give the water away. And I'm going to hook up my community with water. And that's what I've been doing, right? And now fast forward to present moment, a year and a half later, I'm noticing even more the benefits of the water. I'm using the machine in ways I never thought I was going to be using it. Yeah. I'm noticing there's just it's way beyond just drinking water, right? It's a lifestyle. I'm spraying it on my face. I'm using it to clean things. It's a whole thing, right? And I'm also trying to make some more money, right? I'm an independent artist. I have lots of investments and moves that I want to make as far as releases and content creation and traveling and tours and merchandise and all these things that I need funding for. Yeah. And I need another stream of income. I stream to get income. I make merch. I perform. I do sound engineering. I have so many jobs, right? I help people move. I transport. I'm a transporter. You can call me SHNEAKY though. Anyway,
you're so funny.
I have hair though. Anyway, so I told you, hey, I want to start looking into the business of water, right?
Now that you feel that it's true and it's like you tried and true.
I'm drinking this shit right now. Let's drink some water. Fuck it. Cheers. Now, you told me I didn't listen, but as I start to venture into this journey of selling water, I'm getting pushback. I'm getting resistance. I'm getting so many things, right? And one of the things is that I got sent this video. I don't even remember who sent it to me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's someone who loves and cares about me and thought
Yes.
that they were doing me a favor
Yes.
by sending me this. I didn't think, I'm pretty sure it was with all the best intentions that they sent it to me, right? At least I'm going to give them that. Even if it wasn't, I'm going to give them that,
Yeah.
And I was like, and it triggered me, right? Because it's a viral TikTok video. It's obviously some kind of battle between different influencers on TikTok who are trying to push their own narratives. It uses super inflammatory language and totally is like triggering, it's like using all these buzzwords and stuff and totally triggering, right?
Shall we watch it?
Yeah. Well, I sent it to you.
Uh-huh.
And you told me that you were happy that it was now because you have all the answers, right? And I was like, fuck it, like, let's debunk this video.
Yeah, I wasn't fazed by it. Had you showed me this video...
Talking to the mic, please, yeah.
2 years ago when I had just invested my coins in this, because it's a hefty investment, it feels like at first, but it's what they're called ionizers. It's a nice investment. And so now that I am, very well versed and I just know the science and I'm very confident, and I was like, hey, you know what? It's time we have a conversation about this. Let's talk and let's not feud online. Let's not make it this bickering thing. Let's actually have a conversation. And I invite those same people if they're willing to have a conversation with me. Yeah.
And so I decided to put together this little session. So we're going to watch the video and debunk it point by point.
Let's do it.
Pull this up.
Giving bougie as hell. It's giving mind your business. It's giving it's my money.
So what actually happened here is you just got scammed out of $5,000. That's
Every time. Every time. It gets me every time. So what happens here is that you got scammed for
out of $5,000. Yeah. All right. So, and the text says, for those just listening in, the text says, sold in a MLM, multi-level marketing. Everything sold in MLM is a red flag.
Yeah.
So I think this is just the context about the business of it, right? And I've been told that I'm in a pyramid scheme and that, that's just an expensive version of something that you could buy a way cheaper version. That's like an expensive, bougie, overpriced version of something that you can get.
Be careful.
For $100 or whatever. So let's just talk about the business of it. And like when we were having our pre-conversation, there was a couple of words that came up. So this is a registered DSA. What does that mean?
It's registered with the Direct Sales Association. So we have to meet a lot of really like specific requirements, you know what I mean? And we have to make sure that we're not getting out of line. And this is something also that you have to apply for every year. The same goes for the ISOs that they have. The company that makes these Kangen machines is called Enagic. They're based out of Okinawa, Japan, and over 300 hospitals utilize this device because it has the ISO of 13485, which is the hardest certification to get through the ISO. And ISO stands for International Organization for Standardization, which means that like Rolexes, Corvettes, the airplane that you get on, it has to meet at the very least the 9001 certification. And that means that it has all the standards of it being like, this is a safe airplane to fly. This is a legit Rolex. This is a top of the line, so this machine is manufactured by an original, and it's called the OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer. They make every single part in this device and nothing is outsourced. So when we talk about the competitor, they are Tyant or LifeSource. A lot of these companies outsource a lot of their equipment and a lot of their parts from China and Korea, and it's less than expensive. And they don't have the same ISOs that this Kangen machine has. So the 3 ISOs that you want to look for when shopping, let's say you're like, I don't want to buy Kangen, or I just want to see what my options are. You want to make sure it has the ISO 9001, the ISO 14001, and the ISO 13485, which makes it a medical grade device. I can guarantee you that no one, I've done my research, but I incline you to please do your research. No other device has all these 3. And again, year after year, they apply for this, and it's like really hard to get.
So that gets rid of the scam machine, right? You wouldn't be able to, a scam machine wouldn't be able to get all 3 of these ISOs year after year and be available in 300 different hospitals across Japan. Like, you can't call a machine like that a scam machine, right? Like,
absolutely not. And I feel like people feel it's like outrageous to hear $5,000 for a water filter. It's like, whoa, well, let's take a few steps back. This is not a filter, it's an ionizer. Ionizer, what it does, it's literally what it sounds like. It ionizes your water. It gives your water more electrons through the process of electrolysis.
So let's we're getting there. So let's follow this along.
Yes.
So let's go.
Scam machine is called a water ionizer, and all it does is take totally normal water, run an electrical current through it, and then just very slightly raise the pH until it becomes basic water or alkaline water.
Yeah.
Okay, so alkaline, and then there's text right here. So alkaline or high pH water is a marketing story invented to sell you bottled tap water or ionizing machines. And I think this is, when we were first talking about this video, I think this was an important thing, is that like there's actually some truth mixed in here, because I think we all agree that alkaline water, bottled alkaline water, is a fad, and that is just a marketing thing, and that is a scam, right? And we can just talk on that for a second.
It boils my blood. So a little bit of a background on who I am is I am an environmental activist who started going to school for hydrology. I wanted to be a water engineer so bad, but I'm also a performing artist, so I was tied between theater and art and my activism. And what ended up happening was I started working for a nonprofit called Mujeres de la Tierra, who focused on theater performances. And the theater performance was called Telenovelas in the Park, and their focus was on ending single-use plastics and a hyper focus on water conservation.
So both of your worlds just kind of smashed into each other.
And it's a paying job, and it was just like a dream come true. And so I went hardcore with that, with the activism and the acting. So I already knew a lot of these fads, like what they're doing. If you just turn your bottled water around and you, for example, look at your Aquafina bottle, it'll say that it's sourced from a local tap, right? So they're just getting what costs cents, bottling it up, and they're selling it back to you at such a ridiculous markup. It's like paying for a $10,000 sandwich at Subway. You would never buy a $10,000 sandwich at Subway, but we're paying that with the markup that it costs to put it in a bottled water. Now, when it comes to alkaline waters, if you turn the bottle around, it's going to have ingredients. And what they're doing is they're taking reverse osmosis water and they're putting baking soda, magnesium, and electrolytes for taste.
And I've actually had someone tell me, oh, if you want to make your water alkaline, just put baking soda in it. And that's not the same thing that we're doing here with this machine, right? So yeah, they're saying they run a current through it and it slightly raises the pH, but the test that we do for the Kangen machine, it's not a slight raise in pH, right?
Absolutely not.
Because like normal tap water is anywhere from 6.5 to 7, something like around there, right?
Yeah, you gotta at the very least want it at a 7. Like, if it's at a 6, that's already considered acidic.
Yeah, but I mean, tap water in the hood is like, it's like around there, right?
It's like a high, it's like a 6.9,
6.5, 6.8,
7.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But the water that we test when we run it through the machine comes out to like 9.5, and we could even get it all the way up to 11.5 if we're using it for specific purposes, right?
Yeah, there's protocols.
That's not a slight rise, right?
No, it's like an incredible jump. And so if you look at a pH chart, when it goes more acidic, and the acidic colors tend to be red tones, yellow tones, and orange tones. So the first level from the green, it goes to yellow, and then it gets 10 times worse. And then if it goes into the orange zone, that's 100 times worse. And if it goes into the red zone, now we're talking 1,000 times worse. So imagine it jumping forward. That means it's getting 10 times better, 100 times better, 1,000 times better. And pH actually stands for potential hydrogen. So this machine, what it hyper focuses on is shooting up your water with extra hydrogen, molecular hydrogen. And that is the difference. The difference between an alkaline bottled water is that's a chemical change. They're putting baking soda to create a chemical change. And with this device, it's actually creating life. It's bringing water. It's bringing back structured water. When you look at water under a microscope, it's like, have you heard of Dr. Emoto?
I have not heard of Dr. Emoto.
Dr. Emoto did a water test that he believes that the water can hold memory, and he was able to prove that by putting water and rice into different jars. And in the first jar, he spoke hate and bad words to it. The second jar, he completely ignored. And the third jar, he just spoke love and happiness and affirmations. And in that test, what ended up happening is that what he spoke ugliness to, it spoiled. What he ignored also rotted. And what he spoke love to, and it was able to structure it so it fermented. It even smelled sweet. The other two created, like the rice and the water created mold and all this like ugliness.
That's crazy.
And so that's essentially what is happening with water when it's structured correctly. When you can structure it, and when it could be available for your aquaporin to your cell membrane, that's why we're seeing a difference, because at a molecular level, we're seeing a complete change. And so, yes, there is some truth in that. Alkaline or high pH water is a marketing story. It's a marketing story if it comes in a bottle. There's no such thing as bottled alkaline water. There should be no water. Would you drink from a puddle, or would you drink from a river?
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't drink from a puddle, like stagnant.
Yeah. Dead water.
You would think mosquitoes, you would think bacteria, you would think death. You would think death, yeah.
You would think all the
decomposing,
right? Like, would you this is another good example. Would you juice the juice today and say I'm gonna drink it in 6 months?
No, you would drink it fresh. That's the point. You would
drink it fresh. That's the point. And so why are you drinking 6-month-old to 12-month-old bottled water? And we're doing that.
No, I think even in the extremes, it could be like years, right? That water, like those waters can stay. Those bottled waters are supposed to last for years, right? Like they tell you to buy them like when you're survivalist and shit. Like yeah, like
which is something you want to change. Literally, that's a whole other topic. But.
Yeah. All right. So let's go next point.
And there are a lot of people that claim that alkaline water has all sorts of amazing health benefits, like stronger bones and curing cancer. And it's all absolute bullshit.
He's so mad. And you know what? I wonder, I told you this earlier. I said time and time again, when I watch the video, it would have shook me up before. But he uses a lot of buzzwords. He uses a lot of trigger language, which is maybe why you felt that way. Had I watched this 2 years ago, boy, oh boy, I would have been like, how can I get a refund?
Yeah, you know? No, and it's like, okay, did I just get scammed? And it's like, it sounds like, and obviously like, the language sounds...
Yeah.
You know, but, yeah, I have my own issues with this whole thing. But yeah.
So,
I mean, first of all, I think you've mentioned that like they're never gonna allow a direct sales product to make any kind of medical claims, right? That's like a thing. I
don't see that happening, not ever. And I think that has more to do with how commerce works.
But over the 150 machines you've sold, and in your lineage of
inheritance,
and your inheritance of all the people around, and the people that you work with, all these people come up like there's so many testimonials, right? Like, yes. And there's obviously it's all anecdotal and it's not like scientific, but there's a commonality, and there's an abundance of them, and it's a continuing story, right? So I mean, like at some point you have to you have to look at what's in front of you and say there has to be something here, right? I mean, there can't be all these people are, I mean, all placebo affecting themselves or whatever. I don't know, like.
Yeah, you can't knock it until you try it. And so a good placebo check was done in Italy. Someone in Italy had breeds golden retrievers, and it's a 3-story house. And I love this story because a friend was sharing water with this breeder, like, hey, you're a breeder. You know, this water is supposed to keep everyone super extra hydrated and healthy. Maybe this will help you with your puppies. Give this water to your puppies. And the breeder, being a nice friend, said, oh, yeah, sure. I'm saying the story wrong. The water was given to the people to drink. But what the breeder did was like, I'm going to not drink this water. I'm going to give it to my dogs, thinking it was just waste. He was just being polite.
Oh, so she gave the water to the people, and the people decided to give it to their dogs instead.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is probably a scam. It's probably a scam machine. Yeah.
I almost gave away the punchline, and what the moral of the story here is, it was that they were putting the water on the second floor of the house. And the dogs, instead of, they were noticing that the dogs weren't drinking water where they usually drink water from, which is from the tap on the first floor. They were going to the second floor and drinking the water from the second floor. And that was just so uncommon for them to do. And so they realized that they were putting the Kangen water on the second floor in those dishes. And, you know,
the dogs instinctively knew that water was better for them.
I mean, what else?
They tasted the difference. They felt the difference.
You know,
and they were drawn to that
how's
water.
How's a placebo? Yeah, if it's a placebo effect, how did it work on the dogs? You know, and dogs and animals do tend to have, you know, those senses.
Yeah. They know what's good for them.
They know what they need.
Yeah.
Like a horse will lick a rock if they're low on minerals, right?
Right.
So that's one, and so another.
Oh yeah, and there's a case of like I think they're monkeys or chimps, some kind of primate that like licks rocks to get
what they need.
Yeah.
You know, our bodies are just, if you give the body what it needs, it really does tend to heal itself. And so making claims, they don't let us make claims. They really don't. But the testimonies are undeniable.
Right.
Undeniable.
And they're like, there's so many of them. And they continue to come up every day.
And they continue. And because each bot, just like health fads don't work, like keto and like lose weight fast, those don't stick around. Why? Because each body's so different. We need to just be hyper sensitive to what our body needs. And one thing every single person on this earth needs is water. When you go to the hospital and you're like under cardiac arrest, what is it that they do? They
hook you they shock you and then they put you in IV, right? Like
that's right. And so what is that? They're giving you voltage, which is what the water has. The water has voltage. The water has extra electrons. We thrive. What we ultimately want in life are electrons, living foods. That's why this whole veganism is triggering for some people, because it's like, well, where are you getting your protein from? What we really, really need are electrons. That's why grounding yourself, like taking your shoes off, and like if you're, what is that when you're jet lagged? As soon as you land somewhere, if you just take off your shoes and you go ground in the sand, ground in the dirt, ground in you will literally reboot your circadian like cycle. You would like calibrate into the time zone that you're in because of the electrons that the earth will give you.
I mean, you travel a lot with the water gang, right? And like with the family on the East
I fly
Coast.
through TSA with this water all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so for someone to be saying they felt their bones, I wonder what that story was. I wonder how he's hyperbolizing that.
Yeah, like where do you hear this? What did he read, right? Yeah.
Because my personal what's your personal testimony? I have two.
For me, it was just that like once I went vegan, I realized that like I just couldn't like sustain like my hangovers and drinking. It was just like so massively horrible the next day that like it just felt like I was like depleted.
Yeah.
You know? And then I started drinking the water regularly, and like that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. So for me, I'm fairly healthy. So I recovered from experience hangovers anymore. And if I get a hangover, guess what I didn't do? I didn't drink water before. Yeah, I didn't drink my cup of water before bed. And so
I woke up in the middle of the night and I went and drank water because I was like, I could feel it happening.
Yeah.
Like my body woke up and was like, go get water.
Go get water.
And I drank it and I fell asleep and I woke up great.
Yeah.
I woke up fine, Yeah,
that was one. I don't get as sore anymore. My recovery when I work out is better. The lactic acid really was put into, a nice state, recovery state. And then my eyesight got better. But I can't say this at headquarters because the DSA, right? Like, we have to be in compliance.
Right. And there's also, like, it's not controlled, right? Like, what else were you doing? There's, like, other, right? And honestly, like, yeah. There's no way to really know, right?
I encourage you, if you want to do your own research, go on PubMed and look up molecular hydrogen, and you'll find a lot of studies on that.
Yeah.
And like how good it is for your neurology.
And that's what this machine's doing, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're almost done with this thing.
The health benefits of alkalinity have been debunked dozens, if not hundreds of times in medical studies, but
All right, here's another thing. We've already said this, right? Yeah, alkalinity and alkaline based on chemical changes, yes, debunked. Not healthy for you. Doesn't do nothing for you. That's not what we're talking about with this water.
No, absolutely not.
All right, perfect.
it also just doesn't pass a basic smell test. You have hydrochloric acid in your stomach. If you drink something that's very slightly basic and it ends up in hydrochloric acid, which has a pH of like 1 to 3, it's gonna neutralize it.
So that is true. The device makes 6 to 8 different types of waters. It comes with 6 buttons. And according to medical studies, you are not supposed to drink anything while you eat, especially not cold water. And if you must, you drink neutral water. And guess what? The Kangen machine has a neutral button for that. So it's the 7.0. And if you need a little swirly, swirl your mouth with some water, that's what you down it with. Also, babies don't need alkaline water. So the button on the machine actually has a baby bottle and a pill formula. The pill formula is also for people who are on heavy medication, like, for example, time release medication. Because the water has the extra hydrogen in it, it's so bioavailable that it'll break down things faster, such as time release medication. So for people who have heart conditions, those are usually the people that are on time release medication. All they have to do is take their medicine with the 7.0 regular neutral water that has no extra hydrogen in it. And then 30 minutes after, they could go back to drinking the 9.5. So that is why I say there is no such thing as alkaline water that you buy on a shelf. You know what I mean? And to go back to what specifically he said to the whole digestive thing. Yeah. Read the book, The Enzyme Factor. That is the doctor who actually helped create the colonoscopy. And in his book, he says, do not drink anything while you eat. And if you must, drink neutral water. And if you can get your hands on any device, get your hands on the Kangen water machine.
He didn't say that.
Yeah. It's called The Enzyme Factor. And he's the...
All right. We're going to link... because I'm probably going to end up uploading this to YouTube. So we're going to put all the links to all the books and everything.
That I bring up. Yeah.
Also... we have a Discord that we're building out. Yes. So we'll probably add them there as resources as well.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, wait. All right. 214. We should talk to 214 real quick. He's being active. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see what's up.
So he says his uncle sells water. He sells living water. Oh, his uncle sells living water. And he's down to buy a machine for me. Awesome when he gets his money right. Perfect. I love that. As far as it goes for water, I hate to say it, but look how the big fool is on the TikTok. Didn't I say the same thing? Like, that fool's not healthy. He doesn't look like a healthy guy, but let's not go there. But I said the same thing, right? I was like, am I going to take health advice? Whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But I was, 214, I had the exact same reaction. But I feel you, though. But we're not there. We're talking about the science. My dad's last concern was I don't want to change my pH. Yeah, well, I mean, but it's not going to change your pH levels, right? The water's not changing the levels of the pH in your body, right?
No, it's creating action. So on average, 75% of people are dehydrated. That means that if you ever feel thirsty, which I feel thirsty right now.
I feel thirsty all the time.
By the time you feel thirsty, you're already past the dehydration marker. So there's that.
Oh wow, and I'm thirsty all the time. But I'm also smoking all the time, so that's probably like not helping with my hydration. Which is another reason why I drink this water, right? Because I have so many factors in my life that are considered unhealthy. I smoke, I drink, I party, I sleep, I don't sleep well.
Yeah.
I'm constantly like, I live an active, but not like physically healthy active,
Yeah.
more just like constantly on the go. And this water, like I carry it with me everywhere. Like I don't drink. I try not to drink bottled water. I try not to drink tap water. Like I try to always carry Kangen water with me.
Yeah.
And it definitely has helped me like keep up my lifestyle.
Oh, I love that. So to answer your question, just have them focus on the antioxidants and how many electrons we want to be putting into our body, because on a day-to-day basis, there's a lot of oxidation happening through the air, the air quality is bad,
The
water,
diet,
and
our
the
diet. Yeah.
So
People drinking soda.
Yeah.
People drinking all kinds of different caffeinated beverages, like tobacco. Like we live way more acidic lifestyles than our prehistoric ancestors.
Absolutely.
Like evolutionarily, right?
and
like,
then even the fruits now have less nutrients, right?
Right, because they're all like GMOs, and they're
Unfortunately,
grown
yeah.
huge to be like big yield, but not necessarily not a lot of nutrient available. The availability is not all there, and we're not drinking from springs and
No.
and I've seen Water Priestess, that's like one of her big things, is she's constantly going to like these living springs and she's testing the
them.
water.
Mhm.
And also springs are dying, so she'll be like, look, this spring is dead and you can still get this from our water. So like
Yeah.
there's this whole living thing going on for sure. One more thing is that I can see the roughness, healing property, and better water, like your body responding to better water. Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah. Counterintuition. Everybody gotta eat.
I think he's talking about how like it's counterintuitive to think that being vegan is healthier, or that drinking water from a $5,000 machine is somehow better than drinking the manguera.
Yeah.
And I
It's
think
a
that's a whole cultural thing that we have going on too, right? And I think we're just going to finish off this video so we could just see how ridiculous
Also,
it is.
most of your body needs to stay in a specific pH range to function. If your blood doesn't maintain a pH of like 7.4, it can't effectively carry oxygen. So if alkaline water did anything, it would hurt you.
So yeah, you would die and it would hurt you. That's how they... That's,
God.
so talk about inflammatory language,
The
right?
trigger language. Yeah. After what happened with the pandemic and constantly living in fear, I felt like that was a way to oxidize people too. Like living in that constant anxiety was not something that I ever wanted to live in forever, so I'm glad that that's over. And so saying that it's going to harm you without actually you trying it yourself, I think this is something that really should be given a shot. And if all you know is bottled water, I'm sorry, but you got to try different. And, we're bringing up, I don't want to weight shame here, but we brought up how this man looks. And look, a lot of people that drink my water are actually overweight. And there's even people who bought the water and they're like, I don't feel a difference. And I'm like, question out of curiosity, have you stopped drinking soda? Nah, I drink soda like once in a while with my tacos. How is often, how is once in a while? Well, on the weekend, and then maybe once or twice during the week. So I was like, okay, so that's 2 days out of the weekend and then 2 days out of the week.
So 4 out of 7 days.
So 4 out of 7 days you're drinking soda, and it takes 5 gallons of Kangen water to even neutralize a few ounces of this poison. So if you're constantly putting your body into an acidic place, and it's like dangerously acidic, it's like so acidic, it takes 4 to 5 gallons of Kangen water. So if you're not drinking a gallon a day, it's taking you however long it takes you to drink 4 to 5 gallons to cleanse that. And you're constantly putting your body in a deficit, you know? So I got really upset with my sister recently, and she's like, she bought a machine and she's struggling with multiple sclerosis and she's still getting migraines. And I'm like, sister, I'm genuinely concerned, because if there's one thing molecular hydrogen does, if there's one thing, another term to look up is ERW, electrically reduced water. Look up that term on PubMed. There's a lot of really good articles. ERW.
You order here for me.
ERW, yeah. So if you're it's just really good for your immune system and your neurological system. If that is dehydrated, of course there's not going to be any function. There's those neurons and those messages, and how your body functions is not going to be at its ultimate, because it's in a dehydrated state, you know? So the term, him saying that this is ultimately going to harm you, is, in my opinion, absolutely false. And it's been false for, we're at about 190 machines that we've sold now collectively as a community. And I can go to every single one of these people, and maybe we should link that too. We can link a video of like everyone saying how they have benefited from better water. Our water travels over 300 miles sometimes to get to us. So can you imagine all the corrosion that it goes through? We have to strip our water of chlorine, of the fluoride, of the lead, of the arsenic, and whatever is found in our municipal waters. Another thing you guys should all look up is ewg.org. It's a national database where you can look up what contaminants are found in your municipal water. And in HP here alone, there's about 1,000 times more arsenic than they recommend to have in the water. So we need to have a conversation about pre-filtering your water. At the very least, what I tell everyone, like, let's say you don't have the down payment, because you don't have to pay the $5,000 up front for this machine either. You know, I didn't pay that.
I'm still paying for my machine.
Yeah, and for 2 years.
For the price of a fucking less than a car payment, you know?
Less than a car payment, and you'll never have, the average person spends about $1,500 to $2,000 a year on bottled water. And God willing, we get at least 70 years or more on this planet.
And if you want to, like, you know, if you go hard, this can also replace your bleach. It could also replace your pine salt. It could also replace, like, all kinds of different cleaning things, like beauty products.
All they talked about here was just the drinking water. They didn't fully dive into all of the other properties that this device has.
The acidic water that you can create, that you can like straight spray in your eye or use for a sore throat, or like all this other beneficial shit that during the pandemic, right? You could have used this as hand sanitizer, right? It's safe for children, like babies, like
your pets. You know, you can grow. So it has the 2.5 button, it has the 6.0 button, and it has the 7.0 button. All of those waters are the waters that don't have hydrogen in it. They're just neutral water, slightly acidic water for your face, skin, and plants. And then the 2.5 water is actually 2 waters in one. The 2.5 is the hypochlorous acid, is what the scientific term is. And it kills salmonella, E. coli, germs. They weren't allowing us to say it killed COVID, but if you go on Amazon and you look up hypochlorous acid machines, all over Amazon, you could buy these little machines that make this water.
And they were saying that they killed COVID, right?
Yeah. So that's interesting. And then you have your neutral water that I mentioned earlier. But
so I think one last thing, right? Could the water, if not used correctly, be dangerous?
No. So you obviously,
even if the medicine, or even if you eat with 9.5 water, like you're chugging water and eating, that's not gonna fuck you. If you're taking your medication and you drink 9.5 because that just happened to be what was in your cup, like it's not gonna kill you. Like let's just be real and honest about any possible dangers, and like that way, you know, people take this shit serious, because this is real. Yes. This is your health, right? We're talking about wellness and health, and so we should just I just want to make sure that we're being completely honest about all these things, you know.
So one thing that was felt there's various examples. So when it comes to like medication, someone did reply like, "Whoa, I felt a little anxious after I drank my medicine with it." And we're like, "Oh, did the person who shared water with you let you know?" She's like, "She did, but I forgot and I still drank my medicine with it. Are you on time release?" "I am actually." So she just felt the medicine like flowing through her bloodstream faster. So we heard the same thing from someone who bought a machine from us who's a gym owner. He said that his pre-workout, instead of taking 30 minutes, it took 5 minutes. And so he felt it immediately. Another thing we hear is that people's coffee kicks in harder, or alcohol feels and tastes smoother, or they can taste, certain things. So that's very common to hear. On the other side of it, though, there's like babies, right? People are afraid like, well, babies don't need alkaline water. Am I putting my baby in danger? No, it's still, it's great water, or I left my water. They recommend you drink the water within 72 hours after someone pours you water, whether it be in a reusable mason jar, like I love that you do.
Yeah.
Or in a bottled
and
water.
And then you heard me break one on the phone. They break all the time, so I'm constantly replacing them.
Yeah. I love that you do that. You do want to bottle your water in glass. It's the best thing, and preferably darker glass, because 3 things oxidize water. That's movement, sunlight, and air. So think about when your water is being transported from Fiji in a shipping container, and it's constantly being cooked in that plastic. Mm-hmm. So this particular water, we do recommend you drink it within the 72 hours because of the molecular hydrogen that's in it. But if 72 hours go by, you can still drink the water. It's just not going to be as hydrogen potent. But because I stock up on water year after year, Steven and I, my fiance and I, we put away a lot of water for emergency cases. And so we switch it out every year. And this last year, we checked for fun where the water, our 1-year-old water was at, our 1-year-old stored Kangen water, and it was still alkaline, and it was still rich in antioxidants. We use an ORP meter, and that usually what that checks for is electrons.
And you stored it in glass.
We stored it in cheap plastic.
And it was in the shade, though, in your garage?
It was under the counter. Yeah.
Okay.
It was under the counter and in the closet.
Okay.
So it was in a dark space.
So there were some precautions there.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. I would...
214 said he's still drinking soda, but he's slowly getting to the point where he wants to make small sacrifices. And I think that's a good point, right? Like...
Meet yourself where you're at, man. Be easy
but also
on yourself.
Sacrifices, right? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I'm paying a monthly payment to have this machine, and I had to put down some of my credit card, that down payment. Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, that was a sacrifice, Yeah. Also, like, having to constantly carry water around is not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's the same thing with being vegan. Like having to choose where you go, or making sure you're taking your own food, or choosing, asking friends to be conscious about which restaurants to go, or not being able to go out and eat with people just because there's going to be nothing for you to eat there, or going and having not to be able to eat.
Luckily, that's quickly changing, right?
It's changing, but there's some things that are just,
Still.
Yeah. So, it's all sacrifices, and I think, like, people are constantly making sacrifices for things that are detrimental to their health, right? Like, constantly buying that extra drink at the bar you shouldn't, or constantly staying out way past your bedtime, or missing the gym, or eating that cheat food on your not cheat day. Everybody's constantly making your sacrifices. So it's like, what are you going to sacrifice for? What are you going to make? What are you going to choose to do?
Yeah, you can't expect this to be a fix for all if you're not genuinely putting in your part. You know what I mean? And what I tell people at the end of this conversation, when I do my little science presentation, which I'm obviously not doing today, but there's a whole thing, and it's actually pretty viral on TikTok. That's something that you and I vibe on. We're like, you know what? It's just overdone. And so
yeah, we could have our little thing right here next time with the different colors if we want, a little back piece, little prop, little set prop. But yeah,
just to explain it, a little more.
But I think I think it's way more important to be talking about the culture and the stigma and the societal view of people that are entrepreneurs and trying to make money and hustlers, and like the fact that now we're getting into like a health and wellness lane, and that seems scammy and sketchy, and there's this like very snake oil, and people have that gut reaction that like, you're not a doctor and you're telling me about my health, or like, who are you type shit to be. You know what I mean? So
that's a very real thing.
Who the fuck are we to talk? And again, I don't live the most healthy lifestyle. Like, I literally drink Kangen to combat my unhealthy lifestyle. The same reason why I went vegan. Like, I know I don't live a healthy lifestyle. I'm making all the choices that I can to balance that out so that I can continue to live my ratchet life until I can't no more,
Until you're like, okay, I'm retired. This is done.
Yeah,
you guys
we are awesome.
Thank
High five.
you. Woo! Thank you for being willing to have this conversation. And that was the end of the video, right?
That was it. Yeah,
it's like he ran out of time and he just had to say.
Yeah, minute 30. That was like, anything more than that probably would have went viral. And he's like, yeah, if it's gonna do anything, it's gonna hurt you. You'll die. Bye.
So I'd love to share water with him. He'll probably give it to his dog, and then his dog would enjoy the benefits. Yeah. But I did some research on both of them, and it seems like both of them each have an agenda on TikTok of what they want to, what they're experts on. One of them is a water sommelier, and then the other one is like a scientist of some sort, right?
Like a TikTok scientist, yeah.
A TikTok scientist.
And then the video that they were responding to of the person that was actually using the Kangen machine, like, she's not even into water like that, but she's just shares the water because she's like, I love the benefits of it. It's helped me out. Like, it doesn't seem like she's selling the water, but she's just like, she believes in the water, and she loves the water.
Enough to create content.
Yeah. And like, she was happy that she found someone with the water in Costa Rica, which I thought was interesting because y'all go to Costa Rica for your thing. Like, I wonder if I
discovered this water in Costa Rica.
Yeah, so I wonder if, like, I feel like there's a connection there. We should figure that out. I bet there's a connection.
Yeah, she's definitely part of, I feel, some part of our fractal family out here in Southern California, because you're right. There's like this feeling of it. And
we should put her up in the Telegram and see, like, does anybody know this?
Yeah, and it'd be pretty easy to find out, actually. But you guys, if you can, from an environment, the massive action I would want you to take today would be go on EWG, check what contaminants are in your municipal water, because you're not just drinking that water, you're showering in that water and you're washing your vegetables in that water. So if you're buying organic, you're essentially washing your organic veggies with chlorine, arsenic,
all the shit that you don't want it to be grown in.
Chromium, hexavalent, what Aaron Brockovich was, Julia Roberts and Aaron Brockovich.
Oh, now you know who Aaron Brockovich is.
Were you the one that put me on?
Nah, you told me that story though about how you didn't know who she was, like, because someone was like, you remind me of Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah, I'm like, who's Aaron? And then I saw, I'm like, I am Aaron Brockovich. That's me. And
we're all Aaron Brockovich,
Nah, thanks. I'm so happy to have someone like you get it, because a lot of people buy on for different reasons. Some people buy on for the health and their end users. And by the way, when you buy the machine, no strings attached. You don't have to sell this machine. Just know that there's a benefit of return on investment, and there should be no shame. I want to change that narrative. I wish my iPhone had an ROI. ROI means return on investment. Like, if every time I recommended iPhone gave me a free something or some type of compensation.
Right, you know how many times I defend the iPhone? It's already listening to me. It should just be giving me Apple Cash, right? They should just be putting cents in my Apple Cash, like, ooh, this was out there selling these products.
And so, but we're okay with influencers. We're okay with people on Instagram saying, like,
use my promo code and buy this fucking shit that's gonna burn your face off.
Or maybe not, but
but it's the same shit. Like,
we're just normalizing other things, and then when it comes to this, for some reason, it does like trigger you, like,
or like it's okay for Kim K to have a sweatshop somewhere and make all her clothes or whatever, but you and me asking people to buy a machine that's going to help them out, it somehow makes us a bad person, right? Like,
yeah, and I think it's just time to change that narrative, you know, especially if you support small business. You know, not all of us can be out here competing to make mini pancakes or starting the next hype shoe store or whatever it is, you know.
Or yeah, dude, how expensive it's to even have a brick and mortar, like
It's
to own,
so
to pay rent
expensive.
in any, like, come on, man, like. This is a business that you could do from your bedroom, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I jump on calls from my, you know, we're living in a future where anything is possible, and people want to, like, look down on us or judge us because we're trying to think of the new shit to be part of, you know?
Yeah, and so I would encourage people to, like I said, look into your ewg.org, get at the very least those pre-filters. And if not, if you say, hey, I happen to have good credit, or I have no credit, but I have $1,000 to put down, and yeah, I can afford $180 a month, then this machine could be at your doorstep next week.
You can DM me
Yeah.
to help Sneaky sell his first machine.
Yes.
Could be the first. You want to be the first?
Could be the first.
You could be the first.
So,
6A, baby.
there you go. Yeah. So that's maybe we should do a follow up on the compensation plan, because, you know,
Dude, the compensation plan, like you thought if we should bring that up when we were going to talk pyramid scheme and the business, and I think that's definitely its own. It doesn't. The business plan, just like this whole water thing, is very counterintuitive. Like the way it all works and how easy it is to like make money, or how beneficial it could just to drink this. Like, it doesn't make sense like that something so small could be so large, you know? But when you actually start pulling it apart, you know, and you're like, okay, this starts to make more and more sense, you know?
It's more fractal. So something that we didn't get to share that you had an aha moment in, and I saw your eyes light up, was when you're like, how is this really not a pyramid scheme, Gracie? Like, what's the one point that you can put in a nutshell and say? And it was, we both had the same aha moment. When it happened for me was when I found out that if you're a deadbeat in this
if you're at the top of the pyramid, so pyramid schemes are, I find 5 people, and then each of those 5 people find 5 people, and at some point all of them are making money, and I'm at the top of the pyramid, and I get paid off of all their stuff.
And you're benefiting off
and
of
I get to just sit back, and they get to do the work because I already trained them, and I put in the work to learn the business, and I trained them, and I put them on, so now I get to sit back and benefit from their work, right? Mm-hmm. This company doesn't work like that. Because if I decide to build this massive team and they're crushing it with sales, and I'm just kicking back, not selling and not yearly investing and keeping my business afloat with, you know, that's complicated to get into that. But but making a yearly investment to keep my business going and constantly putting money into it.
Or making a direct sell every 3 months.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm not if I'm not selling, and if I'm not investing, then they take you off the top of your pyramid, and you stop getting checks.
They skip you. Yeah, they're like, oh, this person just wants to be here and freeload. He's not taking the business serious. They'll cut you out. This is true direct sell. So I'm in a training program right now with Eric Worre. For those of you who don't know who Eric Worre is, look him up. He wrote the book Go Pro, and he's in the network marketing profession, and he has sat down with Shaq, and he's brought on board. He works with Grant Cardone, and he just works with a lot of these
entrepreneurs, these larger than life fucking
Tony
10Xers,
Robbins. He's had Tony
manifestors,
Robbins.
all these people.
Yeah, and the one thing that he said he's found time and time and time again in the network marketing profession is that it's not perfect, but it's better. And so when we come in and we presented there's all kinds of network marketers. There's Mary Kay, Avon. Now there's like crypto ones. You could sell almost anything through network marketing.
CBD, there's CBD network marketing things. There's
Monet, Herbalife. I don't know if I said that already.
Or even I know there's like insurance companies that kind of do some shit like Primerica type deals. Like there's
all kinds. People are getting smart. T-Mobile, I don't know if you heard, they're going to start to close down their storefronts because they're noticing that the network marketing model works better than having a brick and mortar.
Well, that's Ryan Reynolds' innovation with Mint Mobile. He created the wireless store that doesn't have a store. Yeah.
So,
and they say all the savings, because brick and mortars are expensive. Yes. All the overhead that they save in rent, utilities, hiring, keeping people. Yeah, it's like they pass those savings along to the customer.
And it's what Enagin
Pay me, Ryan Reynolds. I just did a Mint commercial.
Oh, I know, right? So it's just like streamlining.
Yeah.
We were just talking about streamlining earlier. It's just going straight for it. And so what Eric Worre said was, I already lost my train of thought now because talking about how you streamline.
You said it's not better. You said it's not. It's better.
Perfect.
It's better. It's better.
It's not perfect, but it's better. Like, name me one millionaire that's an employee. But I can name you multiple entrepreneurs, whether it's a side hustle. You can be an employee and have a side hustle, and so that makes you an entrepreneur. But anyway, what he touched on was he was trying to help us reach our goal as Kangen distributors, and he was trying to understand our compensation plan. And he's like, you guys aren't traditional MLM. You guys aren't traditional network. You guys are like true. It's like the best part of real estate and the best part of network marketing all put together. Because you're essentially like a broker in this business, or it's like owning multiple franchise lanes with any corporation. Like, let's say you owned a lot of In-N-Outs, and so that's what this compensation plan is like.
It's almost like each person that you bring into your lane is a different franchise, kind of.
Yes, and there's a different value to that person, and as that person grows, you get cut out. So it's not like as that person grows, you get a bonus. As that person grows, you get cut out and you get a smaller portion of what you get, would have originally gotten, which is anywhere between $340 to $2,000. And that's all, full disclosure. That's what you would make in this business per machine that you sell, anywhere between $340 to $2,000. But as that person grows, you get cut out, and at most you'd make $200. So that's when I really liked, when I heard that you get cut out when you're a deadbeat, I was like, this is not a pyramid scheme.
Ethical.
This is ethical. Somebody else was really upset because they didn't know the 2 rules of like making a direct sale every 3 months or having the turmeric supplement, which is another anti-inflammatory thing.
We'll get into that on another topic, when we talk about compensation and how this whole business thing works. Because I think this is a good format.
Yeah.
Because this has helped me understand it better. Yeah. And I think like anybody who's going to watch this in the future, or maybe it's sparking questions or sparking, maybe they're starting to think about this could be something for me, even if it's just the water or the business or both, So
yeah.
I think we're doing service right now.
Yeah. And I love that you were willing to have the conversation about business, because most people are end users. They buy it for the health and that's it. You bought it for your health last year, and then a year later, you're like, okay, I'm ready to learn how to make money and help people benefit their wallet and their health.
I mean, you can only follow Whitney for so long before you're like, I want to live like Whitney. Shout
out to my girl, Whitney. She's so red.
We will put her link in the description, too, if you want to see someone who's like
bigger than, she's like
crushing
Tony Robbins.
It, like she's 24/7 Kangen Water, and she's living like the dream, and she's not even done yet. Like, she's just getting started from the last conversation we had. She's like, yeah, the number she was throwing out, I was like, okay, if I ever decide to not be an artist and I want to go Kangen 24, like I'm gonna be on that Whitney level.
Yeah, she lives, breathes, and it's because of her conviction that I was able to get it exposed to this and see it from another light.
She just didn't let you say no, huh? She was like, we should bring her on, because I hate to be talking about people when they're not here,
And she is a larger than life human. She really is. Like,
I think it'd be cool for me to moderate a conversation between you two, as like off screen, even like, or on a side cam, like the focus is on you two talking about this, and I could be like the layperson in the room who gets to ask the stupidest question,
the frequently asked questions,
the frequently ignorant asked questions, you know,
Yeah.
that the two bosses could answer, you know.
And it's cool, you know. But yeah, Whitney is the person that I bought my machine from. She has been my mentor. She started off as a friend that I met in Costa Rica. As a matter of fact, I was at a women's retreat, and the girl that bunked us together said, "Hey, I'm gonna bunk you with another water girl. You've been wanting to end your plastic pollution footprint. I feel like she's gonna help you with your mission." And
that's a big thing to say, help you with your mission. That's a big task.
That's a big task. And now my friend's like, you and Whitney are so close.
Yeah, like closer than her.
But no, she's moving back. She lives in Austin. She's moving back, and we're starting our own thing too, you know. And so it's been very fractal. I actually got to meet my fiance through this opportunity. So the water change your water, find your husband.
For all you ladies out there who are learning how to find a man.
Or
Start drinking the better water. Start drinking better water.
The slogan that Enagic has is change your water, change your life. So the joke is change your water, find your wife.
Yeah. But you're the wife, so you get to say find
my husband. But yeah, are there is anyone live with any questions? I think we covered the whole. Let me check my notes here that I really wanted to make sure that we covered. We went into everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we covered everything on my notes as well.
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, dude, like you have a crazy, I mean, I shouldn't say crazy. You have a larger than life vision as well, you know, that you're trying to achieve with this water thing. And we're all trying to do dope things for our community and our people and, you know, all the different intersections of our life and stuff. So I'm excited to see what we can build, you know, with this water thing.
Yes.
Which brings us to our last point.
What's up?
My launch.
Ah!
We almost forgot my launch.
So excited. No, I didn't. I was waiting for it. I was waiting to make some announcements. So he mentioned that I have some goals to meet, and my agenda has always will be just environmental activism, my theater, and incorporating the theater, you know, artistic programming. And with that, I feel like where we overlap a lot has been like at the riverbed events. And so I think it's just cool that we've been connecting through the Southeast LA riverbed initiatives and all the water conservation initiatives, and also
and the arts. Like we've been connected to the arts, you know.
You know, we both have a background in the nightlife. I used to be a bartender, bottle service
bottle girl. You were a bottle girl.
I was.
I wish I would have known you then.
No, you do not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't that cool back then either. But as per our earlier conversation off camera, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's not too hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't like me from that time. And I probably deserved it.
I've gotten the best version of you, so thank you for that. I was telling him how clutch he is, and for those of you who know Sneaky, you know that he's usually put out a fire around you. If he could help and lend a hand, he's out there putting out the fire.
Just toss up the sneaky signal and I'll come. Like Batman.
Speaking of fire, one thing that we dabble with is that we are Mary Jane user.
Yeah.
I have a hard time owning it, guys.
Gracie's a pothead. But we're changing the narrative. We're not like the sleep on your couch all day and get nothing done potheads.
Yeah.
We're the smoke and get inspired to do shit.
And I'm trying to stay away from the smoke. I'm trying to find ways where I'm not oxidizing my own. Again, I'm trying my best to not oxidize my body. Meeting myself where I'm at, right?
I am just counteracting all the effects. That's all I'm doing.
So I do want to lean into more edibles and tinctures and, you know, just being more intentional with the weed, even like praying before I smoke. I know it sounds like a lot, but
well, we're planning to
medicine.
We're planning to have an event. Location and date to be determined, but it's going to be in April.
It'll be a 420.
It's going to be a 420 inspired, 420 themed event. And it'll
be Sneaky's launch.
It'll be my launch, where I officially will tell people that I'm selling Kangen Water machines to fund my dreams, y'all.
From his lens, you know what I mean, and from as both of us with backgrounds in the nightlife, how important it is to keep ourselves. You know, you can get all the Botox, you could do all these little gimmicks that, I don't mean to offend anyone that has Botox.
No.
I got it once and it wasn't for me.
I mean, shit, from what I hear, I should have been doing it 10 years ago because it's already too late. They're like, you're supposed to do it before you're fucked up. You're supposed to do it before.
Yeah.
I was late. Nah, I mean, you know what? Whatever makes you happy, you know, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And, you know, again, we all make sacrifices, right? If you want to sacrifice a part of your body to achieve something that makes you happy, well, then fucking do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you live with that. Me, I enjoy getting fucked up. I really do. I really enjoy getting fucked up. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
And I'm planning to create a whole line of lifestyle products and stuff revolved around Kangen Water and its ability to bring you back from those hard nights out. And I think like it's really goes back to, I was even doing this work in college, right? It goes back to this kind of overarching idea of like harm reduction, which is like a term used in like the psychedelic world when you're tripping or you're experimenting with consciousness, or you're taking in substances to like alter yourself. There's this whole idea that like, all these things come with certain risk. There's always going to be some level of potential harm. So why not create an atmosphere that focuses on harm reduction so that you have access to water or maybe like
fresh pressed juices or
someone to talk to, right? If you're having a tough experience, there's someone there that you know that could be with you, that's, you know, sober, that, you know, so there's all these things that are built out into like festival culture and, you know, rave culture and all these things about like, we're trying to create these safe spaces where people are going to do whatever they do as autonomous human beings. We're not condemning or condoning. We're just providing things that, like, if someone finds themselves in a situation, they have somewhere to go where they know they'll be able to, like, be okay, right? And I think that's, I mean, at the end of the day, like, doesn't everybody just want to be okay? You know, like, we all just want to thrive in this world, you know?
Do you happen to remember Lauren? Lauren, she's in my downstream. She usually cooks. She's...
Yeah, I think she was at that event, right? She had she was on the owned the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So her vision and her ultimate goal is to eventually have her own break-off team called Hood Water Co. And her hyper focus is that she wants to provide opportunity for those coming out of incarceration or people coming down off of being addicts and people coming out of rehabilitation. You know, like those are the people that most...
They fall through the cracks.
Like I mean, once your family gives up on you and your friends give up on you,
and you're relying on the system,
and you know what I mean? Like, who is genuinely going to be there to keep you going? And it's such a touchy subject because it's like, where are you meeting yourself? You know, and it's just such a tough conversation.
No, and then a lot of the times, like, the only people who are there for you are the same people who got you into that mess, right? And that's why Revitus is like, you only have the hood. You only have your criminal friends or your junkie friends. Those are the only fools who will actually take you back in, you know? Like. So
she wants to link arms with other people who are, like, keeping each other afloat or who have already made it. And she eventually wants... That's her North Star. That's her ultimate goal. She goes... I want to do that because she struggled through some stuff and it's a soft spot for her, you know. And so, Lauren, we're rooting for you, girl. You cannot imagine how much we want you to win, and keep riding the wave because... Yeah,
dog, I'm with you, dog. Never gonna give up weed. Look, that's what that fool said. The homie one said, I'm never going to give up smoking weed. I felt him on that.
Sure. This isn't impossible. Thanks, Gracie. Right. The homie one said, I'll never give up smoking weed. I felt him on that. Like, I wouldn't either. Just to chime in. Oh, I love it. It's rough for sure.
Hey, it's, my boy Scony. I'm glad you're with us. We're actually just about to log off, bro. But thank you for jumping in, dude. And I know it's fucking been rough and shit. I know, like... I'm not going to put your shit on blast right here, but I know you're going through it, and I'm happy that you chimed in today. I'm glad to see you fucking, you're still communicating and shit. Hit me up in the DMs, bro. When I get off of this shit, hit me up. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, and if you can take him water.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that he's going
I think
through.
he's far.
Oh, where is he?
I'm not sure, but I think he's far. But hit me up. And yeah, if I can get you water, I'll get you some water, my guy.
Yeah.
Anything else? You can find me at Official Sneaky, or the podcast is right here, Rec Respect Pod.
Yes. And then,
do you want to toss out anywhere where they can find you?
Yes. So Gracie, Instagram is where I'm most active. Gracie.la_ is going to be my Instagram. Vital Ascensions is our official water Instagram. I'm starting a Spanish one because we gotta start. I've learned all the Spanish terms to translate this on Spanish and make it accessible. I do have some upcoming events, and maybe is that something we could link if it's done in time? I don't know. I am doing monthly environmental webinars, so we can put the link for that too.
When's your events?
My next webinar will be tomorrow.
No, I mean like the ones you were mentioning would be in time. March, is it?
It's this Saturday, and then I'm a future Rotary president, so we have there's a lot. I do a lot of community stuff.
I could for sure send you this file, and you can cut up whatever you can on your own, at least.
Thank you.
But it probably won't be up until after I get back from. So.
Well, just thank you so much for tuning in for our live folks, whoever's watching this afterwards.
Yeah, actually, let's see who was live, who didn't say anything. Hold on, let me see. We had 01A 0X2 214 Freeway, Alice Idra, I don't know how to pronounce these things. I'm sorry, y'all. Drapsnat, Kata, and Posted 420. Those are all the people that were in our broadcast today.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time. Water Wednesdays is going to be a thing.
Yeah.
It probably won't be every Wednesday, but we'll try to meet up on Wednesdays.
It'll
that
be
seems
a
like
ritualistic Wednesday.
Yeah. Whenever we can. Love and appreciate you all. Love and appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, Sneaky.
Drink water, even if it's not Kangen water. Just make sure you're drinking water, because 75% of people are dehydrated.
And you're only absorbing 15% of regular tap water and bottled water, and 85% is Kangen water. So if you want to try it, we have people all over the United States. So I can probably get you connected, or at least get you to headquarters.
the water community is larger than you think, y'all. I'm learning that very quickly.
Yeah, and we're here to hydrate you, and the water's free. We share water with people for up to 2 weeks. So
yeah, no, actually, you gave me water for 6 months.
Because I love you, dog.
And I give water away. If any of y'all are familiar with Dear Mama. I whenever she can get water off me, she comes and gets water. She uses it for cooking. She uses it for her agua frescas. She drinks it. I cook up my neighbors with water. Anybody who wants water, come get it. It's free. I don't ask for no monies. We just give this shit away because we believe in it.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.